all the awards have been announced: MVP, Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year. And specifically, that's what I wanted to get into to talk about. What are your thoughts on Reggie Barlow winning the Coach of the Year? Manny, let me start off with you.
It was well deserved. I mean, they were the best team the whole season. And speaking of DC, for the people that don't know which team Reggie Barlow coaches, um, Reggie Barlow, he played for, or his team played phenomenal, just like he coached phenomenal. Um, Gotta think this dude played in the NFL, so you can't say he can't coach because he knows what to do when he's in that situation. Uh, I mean, this is his actual. I think he played. He probably coached in like high school, I think, or in Virginia State. Um, I mean, I think the whole year we were always
Alabama State too.
in
Yep.
Alabama State. We always talked about the DC Defenders, and Reggie Barlow had a lot of really good game plans. And I mean, me speaking as a Sea Dragons fan, they beat my team 3 times. And we were like the best offense most of the year. They neutralized us in the playoffs. So you got to give them respect. And he is the head coach. So yeah, I have to give him a lot of respect. So yeah, I mean, what other coach would win it? You can't say Sea Dragons coach because he got outmatched by Reggie Barlow. And then Bob Stoops, you can't say him either because his team was up and down the whole year. No one else really comes to mind when you speak of the Coach of the Year trophy in the XFL. So yeah, I don't mind this at all.
All right. Well, so let me ask you. Like Manny said, you can't think of a coach. You had Wade Phillips, who had a good season. Jim Haslett brought that team up. Then you have Bob Stoops, the incomparable, who, like you said before, we didn't think they were going to get to the playoffs, but then once Bob Stoops gets to the playoff, everything changes. So, what are your thoughts on Reggie Barlow winning the trophy? Or should I say, winning the Coach of the Year award?
Man, it's one of those things where it's just well deserved. You got to give credit where credit is due. And he dealt with his lumps and his bumps with Jordan Te'ama and De'Aaron King, like I mentioned before as well. Which having a quarterback battle is hard, man. Trying to figure out where to fit these guys. They could throw off your whole chemistry of your whole team. But from being a Jaguars wide receiver to playing with the great Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell to going coaching Alabama State to Virginia State, he doesn't get enough credit for what he did with HBCU schools too, and he's kind of bringing that legacy with them now as well. And I honestly think that we're talking about players getting another shot at the next level. Reggie Barlow is going to obviously get some looks going into this next coaching period for the NFL. And if he doesn't, as far as like a offensive coordinator or something, he's going to get some calls. I'm pretty sure. And if he beats Bob Stoops at his own game, Bob Stoops in championship games or important games is a hard dude to go against. And I tried to tell y'all that during the playoff run. I said, I know that their record is what it is, but there's no better coach out there to coach somebody. Bob Stoops came back after Lincoln Riley left, filled in for the bowl game, and they smashed whoever they played. I forget who it was, but Bob Stoops came in not even knowing these players and was able to coach them to a win. So to go against him is going to be a big test, and I'm sure he's going to learn a lot. And what I like about all these coaches is they seem like they're all friends outside of this too. So, but I wouldn't have ever guessed on my best day that Reggie Barlow would have taken them to the championship game. I expected Wade Phillips or the Bob Stoops of the world, or even Terrell Buckley. For whatever weird reason, I thought Terrell Buckley was going to have a better time because he's coached a lot too. So, and Jim Haslett, we talked about Jim Haslett too. Like Jim Haslett is
he coached the Saints.
Yeah, he coached the Saints. He played for the Saints. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Reggie Barlow's the man. He deserves every bit of credit that he got. And, shout out to the coaching staff that he brought there. Gregg Williams and those guys, man. Like, that deserves enough credit on his own. Because, as we know, any good coach is going to bring his luggage with him, too. Mm-hmm. And you best believe that You have proven your place as a head coach in this league. You got people like Gregg Williams, that is a legendary coach for a lot of these players. For the Steelers and for a lot of these teams that have had these amazing defenses. You think that at the next level that you're not going to get a call from the NFL if Gregg Williams is like, he's the real deal. You know what I'm saying? He knows what he's doing. So, man, this is well deserved to me. I mean, especially if he wins today, if he keeps the game close against Bob Stoops. But if he goes out there and totally smashes Arlington today too, there's no question that this dude should be a coach in the NFL or at least an assistant coach somewhere. So kudos to him.
Was the only other guy that, the only other guy that I was gonna say was like Jim Haslett, and he beat him 3 straight times. I mean, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
I think the NFL has to let go of things that happen to guys, especially the founding game with Gregg Williams. The man is an incredible coach, and he deserves another opportunity, to coach up these guys that are in professional leagues. Now, it's very beneficial if he stays in the XFL because he's probably going to be one of the best defensive players.
He might be a head coach.
Yeah, he's one of the best developers you got out there. We've seen him from day one, screaming at the guys on defense. Hey, we all knew how long it would take for Gregg Williams to blow his top. But that's what you need, especially when you're talking about a developmental league. You're going to need a guy who cares about you. That's why he's so passionate, because he cares about these players so much. He cares about their future and what's going on. Yeah, I think that would be great.
Before Don goes, I did want to call one guy out that I think is going to be really good at the next level too. And y'all saw the crazy plays and what he did with Houston. AJ Smith, the offensive coordinator for Houston, is really good too. I'm not being a homer. I'm just saying the dude knows his stuff, man. He knows his stuff.
Before he was with Houston, who was he under? Because I know he has like a good coaching list of people he was under.
I don't know. That's a good question. This is the first time I've ever heard of.
I remember he said he got the one play. I want to say it was maybe the Rams. Was he under McVay?
It might have been. And
he's only 32 years old, if I'm not mistaken. He's very young.
Yeah, let me see. I'm reading up something on him right now. But Don, you can go ahead and answer the question while I look this up. I'll circle back around to AJ Smith.
Yeah, basically with Coach Barlow, I mean, like was mentioned before, he was a player. Okay, so he played in the NFL, and we have other NFL former players coaching. But not only that, he did coach in college with, like was mentioned, Alabama State, Virginia State. He was a CIAA Coach of the Year and had an undefeated season one year. The fact that he brought in Fred Keiss as his offensive coordinator, he worked at Alabama State with him. And not only did Keiss have a system at Alabama State, but he was at Hampton University, Alcorn State, Alabama State, Tennessee State. So he is well experienced as well. And then to bring on Gregg Williams, who was, on the Saints the year they won the Super Bowl. He was their defensive coordinator with his coaching knowledge from the NFL. I mean, you put that type of team around you, and that's only going to help Reggie, But what he did with that group and what he did with those players, very well done. Definitely deserved this award.
Yeah.
Coach Barlow did a great job this season. We all talked about it. Between picking a great coaching staff, going through the 2 quarterback, controversy, getting that loss against the Galaxy, again, the worst team in the league, and you lose against it, you're at a high point. He was able to, have his guys rally around him and finish undefeated so far. Now they're in the championship game. So yeah, Coach Barlow did a great job this season, and it was well deserved.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, good coaches always have good people around them, and he definitely knew how to get good people around them.
Well, also the thing about, I know we're talking about sorry. We're talking about redemption arcs for like some of the players and stuff like that. We also have to call this as like maybe a redemption arc for Gregg Williams too. We know that he's been banished from the NFL, but look what he's done with that defense. Literally, they won a lot of games this year, more than half of their games because of their defense. And we sat here every single week talking about The Renegades have a really good defense. If their offense could step up, it could match with their defense. And that's what they're doing now by getting Luis Perez, which makes him a little scary going into this game. Like, I think this game is a lot closer than what people give him credit for. But Gregg Williams was literally the reason. He was like, Reggie, y'all trying to figure out this quarterback thing. I ain't got time to figure that out. Here go the defense. Well, we're going to make sure we're right.
Yeah, and it's crazy because throughout this whole show, we've been talking about players, coaches that deserve second chances. I haven't heard any conversation from the USFL on that end. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard players who get a second chance. None of that. And in that one short season, the XFL has done so much when you compare the two.